All right, so according to the smoking status and BMI study, clients aged 20 or older with higher BMI paid higher premiums on average. So it's kind of like the more obese you are, the higher you're going to pay for your insurance. Normally, you're going to have more complications with that and that kind of stuff. So on here, you got a body mass index, and on this insurance plan, it's saying depending on your weight status and whether you're female or male, your insurance will be different. So for instance, Brad is 68 inches tall with 210 pounds. Okay, let's calculate his BMI. Okay, so we know from the last unit, or the last thing, that we have 210, and we're going to divide it by 2.2, because we got to turn all of this into the different units. So we've got 210 divided by 2.2, and that's going to give me 95.45 kilograms. And then it says that he's 68 inches tall. We're going to divide that by 39.37. When we do that, we're going to get 1.73 meters. So when we divide, we're going to get 95.45 divided by 1.73 squared. And you're going to type that into your calculator, and you're going to get 31.89. So if this is the case, when we look here, then Brad's going to pay a ton. Yeah? Brad's going to be $187 per month. Okay, so $187 for monthly premium. Okay. Now, the chart next down below asks how much he's going to spend each month by the end of each month. So by the end of the first month, he spends $187. By the end of the third month, this is saying 187 plus 187 plus 187, which is going to be $561. By the sixth month, he's spending $1,122 because we would add 187 6 times. By the ninth month, he's spending $1,683. And then by the 12th month, he's spending $2,244. Okay. So his yearly cost, that means 12 months, is going to be $2,244. Okay. And that's just for him to live. That's not even doing anything. That's just him living and breathing. Okay, so write and graph a linear equation that represents the relationship between months and the premium cost. So just like what we talked about, linear equation is going to be y equals mx plus b. So every month it's going to cost us $187. Month is going to be represented by x. So here is our equation. So we've got cost, and then we got number of months. If you flip over to the back, now you're going to graph this. Okay, so we're going to plot a point at 0, 0, because if he doesn't have a month, then he's not going to spend anything. At 1, we're going to spend $187, so that's roughly here. At 3 months, we spent $561, so that's right in here. And then we're going to continue that up. Okay, remember our equation was y equals 187 times x. You could take this and plug this into Desmos, and it would actually do it for you. Now, what is your slope? Your slope is 187, and that represents the cost per month. All right, so according to the CDC, losing as little as 5 to 10% of your body weight can have substantial health benefits. For some people, your BMI may still be in the overweight range, which may be okay. It's unrealistic and unnecessary for everyone with a BMI of 30 or more to reach a BMI in the normal range. Health significance of BMI is not indicated by the number it is today, but if today's BMI is more or less than it was in the past, says O'Neill. In other words, it's all about whether you're making strides toward a better, healthy future. Your goal should be to lose a modest amount of weight and then reevaluate progress. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, trusted source, the average weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week. That means on average that 4 to 8 pounds of weight lost per month is a healthy goal. Just because it's possible to lose a lot more, at least in the early months of diet doesn't mean that it's healthy or that the weight will stay off long term. A lot of people go on to these bad diets like keto, etc., and then all of a sudden lose a substantial amount of weight in the first couple months, and then in the next couple months, it all just comes crashing back. Okay, so you have to make sure that you plan it out accordingly. So we're going to calculate Brad's BMI after losing 7% of his weight. So we have 7% of the 95.45 kilograms. That's going to equal 6.68 kilograms. This is our new weight. Okay, so our old weight was 95.45 minus, I'm sorry, get rid of this part. Okay, so this is 7% of his total weight. Now we're going to take his total weight and subtract, that 7%, and that's going to give us 88.77. Okay, so if we do that, then his new BMI is going to be in that 29.66 range. So new BMI. Remember, BMI is found by taking the weight and then dividing it by the height, which we found on the previous page was 1.73 squared, and that gave us 29.66. Okay, so does this weight loss after alter his premium costs? Yes, because now he's just in the overweight category. He's not in the obese category. Okay. How much will he pay monthly for his premiums? So now instead of paying like 187, he's going to pay only 172. Okay, so our equation is going to be y equals 172 times x. And x is still going to represent the number of months. So how much is he going to spend in a year? Well, if we take 172 and we multiply it by 12, that's going to give us 2,064, I think. We'll put that in. 172 times 12. Yeah. Okay, so calculate the percentage of change in his policy's yearly cost by lowering his BMI. So we went from 2064, which is the new, and the old was 2,244. We're going to multiply by 100. So he went down by 8.02%. So this is the percent change. Okay, remember that's not formula from that first packet. Okay. If Brad lost an average of 3 pounds monthly, how long will it take for him to lower his premium? Okay, so for a lower premium, and we can use that chart. So for a lower premium, Brad needs to have at least a 29.9 BMI. So we need to have at least a 29.9 BMI. So 29.9 is equal to x divided by 1.73, because we're not going to change our height. Like, that's going to stay the same. So in order for him to have that, we're going to take 1.73, square it, and then multiply it times 29.9. When we do that, we're going to get 89.49 kilograms for his weight for a BMI. Now, the difference in that is going to be where he started off at 95.45, and that's coming from that first page, minus your 89.49. That's going to equal 5.96 kilograms, which is about 13.11 pounds. And if he's losing 3 pounds every month, we're going to take our 13.11 pounds that we would lose, divide it by 3, And so that's 4.37. So he would take about 4.37 months to lose that and drop his premium. All right, so we're gonna graph a linear equation for this. So we're gonna say y equals 210, which is the amount that he started with his weight, and he loses about 3 pounds per month. Okay, so that's why we're having minus 3x. So x is going to represent the number of months, and y is going to represent the current weight. So if we lose 3 pounds, then he would be at 207, and that would just be our first month. Okay, so our initial is at 210, and each month, he is losing about 3. So it's going to be right here. We're going to be right about here. Okay, and at 10 months, he has dropped down to 180. Okay, so I'm going to draw that straight line. That's a little rough, but you get the point. Okay. And remember, with graphs, you only need about 3 points. Make sure that you label your axes. Okay. The next question says, explain what the meaning of the slope and y-intercept are. Remember, the y-intercept is this guy right here. So that 210 is the y-intercept. And that is the starting weight. The slope is -3 because he's losing 3 pounds every month. Last page. All right, so just in over 1 in 3 young adults aged 17 to 24 are too heavy to serve in the United States military. Among the young adults who meet the weight requirements, only 3 in 4 physical activity levels that prepare them for challenges in basic training. Consequently, only 2 in 5 young adults are both weight eligible and adequately active for military service. Also, 19% of active duty members service members had obesity in 2020, up from 16% in 2015. These individuals are less likely to be medically ready to deploy. So they were just telling us a little bit of information. So if 1 in 3 young adults are too heavy to serve in the military, how many students in the class of 20 would be ineligible to serve in the? Well, if 1 out of every 3 are too heavy, we're going to multiply that by 20, and that's going to give us 20 over 3. So we're going to multiply the top, multiply the bottom, which is about, when we plug that into our calculator, 7 adults. Okay. A military recruiter is visiting schools to meet his recruiting goals. His commander gave him permission to waive weight requirements for 5 students. Write a linear equation to represent the number of students eligible out of the entire student population. So that's that 1 in 3 are too heavy to serve in the military. So that means 2 out of the 3 are eligible to go. Okay. And we're going to waive just 5 students randomly waive their right or waive weight requirements. So here's our equation for this one. So 2/3 are eligible because only 1/3 are too heavy. Okay. And 1 minus 1/3 is 2/3. And then 5 are just going to have their stuff waived for them. Okay.